All we did was differ with them economically, and Trump tried to turn them into a state. He said, I called him Governor Trudeau. First I was just joking, then a lot of people told me it was a good idea.
Gang, what's up? Aaron here, Canadian Looney. We're going to check out a potpourri of videos about Canadian federal politics. Entertaining this will be. We've got Shannon Stubbs, Melanie Joly, Jamil Jivani, Michelle Ferreri, Joe Rogan. Everybody's chiming in on what's going down in Canada. Let's take a look. Let's just have some fun with this video. Let's kick it off.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
All we did was differ with them economically, and Trump tried to turn them into a state. He said, I called him Governor Trudeau. First I was just joking, then a lot of people told me it was a good idea. Yeah, I think that single-handedly ruined Canada.
Yeah.
That idea, I mean, that's the Republican Party, or their version of the Conservative Party. They were on the way out. They were f***ed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the whole country united because Trump's trying to turn them into a state.
Yeah. Polyev has got to be angry about that shit, man.
He has to be so mad. He was logical and reasonable, and everybody's like, let's try that for a while.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That was the ultimate block.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? You're in the bar. It's about to happen with the girl.
It's going down.
It's going down. You're like, oh, I'm so
Canada's back.
Yeah, I'm so gonna get laid. Trump pops up, whispers something in her ear, and all of a sudden it's fucking over.
Yeah.
Mayday, Mayday, this is a public service announcement that you deserve better. And I mean this in all seriousness. You don't have to accept mediocrity, and you certainly don't have to expect rock bottom. And that's exactly what the recent Auditor General report tells us about CRA, Canada's Revenue Agency. Have you ever phoned them? Have you ever noticed customer service just isn't that good? It's not just not good, it's terrible. So here's a few of the points from the Auditor General report. So the report says 18% of callers were able to reach a CRA agent. 18%. Wow, that's wonderful. Their target was 65%. It wasn't even 100%. It was 65%, but 18% got there. So yay them. The average wait time, if you were one of the 18%, over a half an hour, which is double from last year. And hey, if you're lucky, you didn't get disconnected, right? 7.6 million calls were disconnected before callers were able to reach an agent who was about to give them wrong advice. Non-specific questions about benefits, including eligibility, were wrong 44% of the time. Meanwhile, the CRA's automated chatbot, Charlie, meant to relieve the call center, answered only 2 of the 6 tax-related questions correctly. This part's fun. 9 million calls were deflected by an automated voice telling them to figure it out themselves. But this number's high. Okay, this number's high. Auditors found the call center gave incorrect information 83% of the time when asked general individual tax questions. Complaints increased 145%. So, I mean, clearly they're listening to you, right? Wait, can you get through to the complaint department if you can't get through to the regular department? But guys, don't worry, because they're spending more. They're spending way more of your money. In fact, CRA's call center has ballooned from $50 million over 10 years in 2015 to $190 million. And the total cost is projected to continue rising to $214 million over the next 2 years. That's a 320% increase from the original contract amount. But you know how it is, right? If you owe CRA money, they're super forgiving. They don't charge you interest. So it's a good relationship. I'm dead serious when I say you deserve better. Stop accepting this. Stop normalizing this terrible customer service where you pay more and more in taxes and get terrible, shittier service. This is obscene. Like, I have seen people, seniors, wait online for hours, then only to have it disconnected. The stress and chaos this is causing is not funny. Nothing is funny anymore. And the reality is, yeah, I'm being snarky and I'm being sarcastic to grab your attention. But wherever you are, please stop voting for this, because they're not going to fix it, because they have no incentive to fix it, because you keep voting for them. You are tolerating this, and whatever you tolerate grows. It's unacceptable. If you have anybody out there that has tried to reach CRA that has like a disability, or they're struggling, or they're a senior, this is very, very stressful for them. And you pay money for them to serve you. And the second you owe them a dime, they are jumping down your throat. And this is not how a government should run. Stop voting Liberal.
Oh, yeah. The question is not how I react, but what do we do? And my answer to that is head down. We need to concentrate on what we can control, because there are a lot of things we cannot control. We already know that there's only one person in the American administration that takes decisions, and it is President Trump himself. We know that it is an administration that is very unpredictable, and this has been part of Canadians' lives over the last few months. Now, the Prime Minister just took a plane going to Asian countries, and he will concentrate on finding also new clients and new markets. And that's exactly what we need to do. Meanwhile, I'm here in a very important region of Quebec, working with my colleagues, working with local businesses, because we need to make sure that we reduce our dependency on the U.S. and that we support our businesses as they have very important workforces and they have very important decisions to take. And my job will be to support them.
Oh, yeah.
Last night, you might have seen that ConocoPhillips, a major global oil and gas company and long-time contributor to Canada's economy, announced layoffs at its Canadian operations. That means just weeks before Christmas, workers in Calgary, Northern Alberta, and British Columbia will have to go home and tell their families that they've lost their jobs. And this comes just weeks after Imperial Oil announced it would sell its Calgary headquarters and cut almost 900 jobs. For generations, Canada's energy sector has created good, sustainable, high-paying jobs, opportunity, and stability for entire communities, especially in remote and rural regions where it's needed most. But after the last lost anti-development Liberal decade, that future is so and still uncertain. This is the direct result of Liberal anti-energy policies that continue to drive out companies that did believe in Canada and Canadian workers and did make big investments and long-term plans here, but have been forced to cut losses in human jobs, and go to other more welcoming jurisdictions. Make no mistake, this is a result of Canadian policy harming Canada because of these federal Liberals. The Liberals, they say their thoughts are with these workers, but it's their own Liberal laws that put them out of work, because when policies are specifically designed to crush, they just said phase out, Canada's oil and gas sector and to kill Canadian jobs, that's exactly what happens. The same Liberal politicians who grieve for these families are the same exact ones who deliberately wrote laws like the so-called Just Transition Bill C-50 that is deliberately designed to kill traditional Canadian energy jobs. 170,000 in oil and gas, 1.4 million in trades, 642,000 jobs in transportation, 193,000 jobs in manufacturing, 292,000 in agriculture, and hundreds of thousands of more jobs in other sectors and additional sectors that rely on those primary ones. Canadians can't put Liberal thoughts and prayers on the table at dinner. They can't use them to buy Christmas gifts for their children. And they sure can't use them to pay the bills that continue to go up and up and up because of these Liberals. Look, make no mistake, there's only one solution. The Liberals must repeal their job-killing anti-development laws, like the No New Pipelines, but what is actually a Never Build Anything Anywhere, Bill C-69, the shipping ban, Bill C-48, the federal industrial carbon tax that makes Canadian businesses unable to compete with the US and other countries, or the Canadian oil and gas cap, which is the only one of its kind in the world imposed to hurt our own country, the anti-science plastics ban, the Just Transition Bill C-50, and the Liberal oil and gas censorship law that only targets Canadian companies and prevents them from talking about the world-renowned environmental stewardship and innovation. Only Conservatives will scrap these job-killing laws, because that's been our position the entire time consistently, unlike Mark Carney and these bait-and-switch flip-flopping Liberals. And Conservatives are the only ones who will put Canadian workers first.
Oh, yeah. I think we need to have a conversation about liberal racism. I was thinking about this over the weekend because we had this awesome event in Bowmanville called Apple Fest, and it's a great time. You know, people coming together, they're eating apple fritters and apple muffins. And while that's going on, I got confronted by one of the local hardcore liberal partisans. You know, when I say that, I don't mean somebody who just votes for the Liberal Party. No, I mean like one of those like hardcore dudes who was with Justin Trudeau until the very end, you know? So he comes up to me and like wants to start this argument about DEI. And so I'm like, cool, like let's have a conversation. But instead of it just being a conversation, he really just wanted to like prove he was smarter than me, you know, and like make me feel bad, like drag me down, right? Like tell me that I don't understand and that, you know, make me feel like I'm very uneducated compared to him. And while that's going on, there's another hardcore liberal partisan in the area running around attacking my intellect, you know, like he's so much smarter than I am. And this has been like months of this kind of vibe from these like hardcore liberals, you know, like they're ran a whole campaign in our community trying to convince people in our area that I'm incapable of having independent thoughts, that I can't have my own beliefs, but rather I'm somehow less than them, that they know more than me and I can never be equal to them. And it's like kind of disturbing, to be honest. Like it's been like months of this and it's starting to feel like phrenology type stuff, you know, like Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained. Like these guys want to bring out some 19th century instrument to measure the size of my skull. It's weird, right? And these guys should know better than to have this way of treating people. You know, one of them is a counselor in Clarington, another one a former school principal, and yet they feel so entitled to like talk down and like demean people, right, who think differently than them. Like they think they know how a member of a minority community should feel. And if you don't say what they think, then somehow they feel like they can police you and tell you what you're supposed to think. It's odd stuff. And you kind of mix that with the fact that these guys are like enthusiastic supporters of DEI. Oh, they can't get enough of DEI. And it makes you wonder, like, why are they so keen to advance policies that assume the inferiority of others? Because that's kind of what DEI is, right? It's this idea that people from minority communities can't get ahead, can't succeed without liberals extending this unique special treatment and unique generosity to us. I find it disrespectful. Disrespectful to me, disrespectful to people who look like my father, my family, you know, some of my neighbors, some of the people I go to church with. It's this very paternalistic attitude that we need the liberals to give us these special benefits and these special things, as if we can't compete and do well based on our own talents and abilities. Now, I understand there may be people in minority communities who like this DEI stuff. There may be people in minority communities who like these liberal policies, but there are a lot of us who don't, and I'm one of them. I don't like it. I don't like feeling like other people get to look down on me and extend pity to me as if I'm less capable than they are. I don't like that. And in fact, I believe that a lot of people in minority communities just want an economy that creates opportunity. For those of us who are hustlers and strivers and dreamers and builders, we just want to see the fruits of our labor. And I think that's what's gone wrong in Canada right now, is that we're not able to see the fruits of our labor. None of us, regardless of what you look like. And we don't have an economy that is giving the right opportunities to those who are willing to work hard for them. So to me, this is what liberal racism is. It's this idea that they get to put you down, they get to demean you, they get to tell you that you're less than them, but then also tell you that they're your savior, that liberal DEI policies are going to be what gets you ahead in life. I think we have to reject liberal racism. And I'm very comfortable saying I don't support liberal racism. And as the Member of Parliament for Bowmanville, Oshawa North, I will stand up against it unapologetically. Shout out to the wonderful people in Clarington and Oshawa. Appreciate you very much. Let's restore the North. Let's restore the promise of Canada.
Oh, yeah. I have to be honest with you. The last many years have been a challenge. I am asked repeatedly about how a country like Canada blessed with resource wealth, world-class talent, and sophisticated capital markets, struggles to provide its trading partners with the goods they need to feel safe, secure, and to prosper. At the same time, Canada's economic and national security is under siege. Protectionist policies continue to grow, and our democratic institutions continue to be threatened. Our allies and trading partners face the same headwinds, and now more than ever are seeking to lock in safe and secure supplies of energy, food, and critical minerals. Our world-class resources, whether it's in uranium, nickel, potash, grain, oil and gas, compete in global markets. Unfortunately, we are losing market share. Once a top 10 supplier of many minerals and agri-food products, we're losing out to our competitors, of which many of them are in countries with weaker environmental standards and less respect for the rule of law. Our energy, our story is one of unfulfilled potential. LNG provides a striking example of where policy missteps and onerous regulatory barriers have kept Canada shackled and unable to reach its full potential, leaving us on the sidelines as other countries take the place that should have been Canada's as an energy supplier for the democratic world. Despite being blessed with enormous natural gas reserves and shores upon 3 of the world's 4 oceans, Canada has struggled to build the right infrastructure to move its energy products and resources to Tidewater. Even just 2 months ago, S&P Global released a study where it found that it takes over 20 years to discover, approve, and build a mine in Canada, ranking us amongst the countries with the longest lead time in the world.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
We'll wrap it up right there, gang. Aaron, Canadian Looney, I hope you enjoyed that video. We'll catch you in the next one. Things in Canada are off the hook. Indeed. We cover Canadian federal politics here. We show most things in context. Sometimes we play tricks, but mostly things are shown in context so you can get the real story. That's it. Aaron, Canadian Looney. We'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching this one. Get your Canadian federal politics right here. Ciao for now.